I've spent almost 5,000 hours on Skyblock, and a good portion of that falls into mining. Mining is the best way to make money on an Iron Man profile, and a very good mid to late game moneymaker on a regular profile. In this video, I'll cover the entire mining experience from a beginner profile all the way to endgame, so be sure to stick around. Quick disclaimer, this video is intended for non-Iron Man players, since mining for Iron Man is quite different and quite a lot of things can't just be skipped because of no auction house or bazaar. If there are any Iron Man players watching, I will most likely make a guide for you, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss that. Anyway, the first thing you're going to want to do on your mining journey is unlock the Dwarven Mines. You do this by talking to Reese in the Obsidian Sanctuary, and he will ask you for a list of items, so make sure you have those prepared. You also need mining level 12. The fastest way to do that is by mining sand in the desert island with an efficiency 5 regular golden shovel. After you meet those requirements, you'll be able to access the Dwarven Mines. Immediately come over to Boo Boo and purchase the fractured mithril pickaxe. This will cost 10k, so make sure you have that available. Now, if you take a closer look at the next pickaxe, you'll see it requires Heart of the Mountain tier 2, so that's what we're going to work on next. The Heart of the Mountain skill tree is essentially just a way to increase your core mining stats such as speed and fortune, along with some other useful perks. There are also different tiers, which can be worked towards by completing commissions for the king. Our goal right now is to reach Hotem tier 3 to unlock the Crystal Hollows. So, head to the king and talk to him. This is how you get there. You need to get 3000 Hotem XP to unlock tier 2, and this can be done in only 3 commissions. Every day, the first 4 commissions you complete will give you a bonus 900 Hotem XP, so look out for those. You can check your active commissions by holding tab and they should be right there. These are the list of commissions and how to complete them, so refer to this if you ever get stuck. Commissions also give you powder. In the Dwarven Mines you get mithril powder, and in the Crystal Hollows you get both mithril and gemstone powder. This powder is important because it's what you actually use to upgrade the perks in your Hotem tree. At this point in the game you can get mithril powder from doing commissions and just mining mithril. You can also get a little boost in powder by talking to this guy Fletcher, found right here. He will want you to give him an item, so go to the Skyblock wiki and match his dialogue up to find what item he wants. As well, if you go to the king's area and find this place, then turn left, right and left, you will find the puzzler. Now, to complete this quest, you need to start on the block that the puzzler is on and follow the arrows by moving around. By the final arrow, you should end on a block, mine it, and you will get 1000 mithril powder if done correctly. This can be done daily. As previously mentioned, there is also gemstone powder. Don't worry about this until later though, as you only need it at Hotem 6. I'll explain powder grinding later in this video. So now you're Hotem tier 2, you're going to want to come back to Boo Boo and purchase the bandaged mithril pickaxe. Remember to upgrade this with efficiency, fortune, and all that stuff, because you're going to be mining with this one for a bit. The next thing you're going to want to do is get your first set of armor. The first set will be glacier armor, and you obtain it by killing these guys, the Ice Walkers. You can either kill the Ice Walkers using a pickaxe to obtain this set, or you can just buy it from the auction house. Prices right now are incredibly cheap, so in my opinion this is the better option. However, there is a benefit to grinding this mob. They occasionally drop glacier jewels, which can sell for 100 to 150k on the bazaar. In my previous experience, I've been able to get around 10 per hour with a very starter setup, so this is a good early game moneymaker. Just be sure to have enough health so you don't die. After you have the armor set and it's enchanted and reforged, you're going to want to reach Hotem 3. Since it takes 9000 XP to reach this, you have 2 options. Either grind a ton of commissions now, or do your dailies for 3 days. I would recommend just doing dailies, because it would take like 90 commissions to actually reach it. So now you've unlocked the Crystal Hollows. By this point you should have a set of glacier armor, a bandaged mithril pickaxe, and a couple thousand mithril powder that you can use to upgrade the mining speed and fortune perk in your skill tree. You should also consider buying a bee pet for the mining fortune. Make sure to put a bejeweled collar on any mining pet that you use, as it gives you extra mining speed and fortune. So how do we actually get to the Crystal Hollows? As soon as you enter the Dwarven Mines, walk forward until you see Gwendolyn, talk to her and buy a Crystal Hollow pass for 10k. This needs to be renewed every 6 hours, so keep that in mind. Now click on the minecart and it will take you to the Crystal Hollows. Quickly, I recommend you download some mods such as Soupy, Colweight, Skytills, and maybe SBE. I won't go through how to actually install these, but it's relatively easy. You can probably find a guide somewhere. Now, here's where it gets confusing. There are a lot of things that you can do at this stage, but I'll lay out a general path to follow. Take this video as a general guide on what to do, and if some things are different in your game, then that's okay. First, let's start with the layout of the Crystal Hollows. There are 5 main areas, separated in quarters: the Goblin Holdout, Precursor Remnants, Jungle, and the Mithril Deposits. The other area is the Magma Fields, and that's anywhere in the Crystal Hollows below Y level 64. Each area is important, hosting structures required for Nucleus Runs and gemstones. Here's a list of gemstones and where to find them. There are also different mobs around the Crystal Hollows. You may have to kill them for a commission, so here's a list of all the mobs and where to find them. Now we're all caught up, the two main things you need to work on right now are stats and Hotem level. You should focus on getting to Hotem 7 before worrying too much about stats though. You can either grind Dwarven Mines commissions or Crystal Hollows commissions depending on what you want to do, because both give 400 XP. In my opinion, I would do a mix. If you find Crystal Hollows commissions too hard, then start doing Dwarven Mines, and vice versa. Some commissions will be difficult to complete, such as mining certain gemstones and killing a 1 mil HP boss. In order to mine the gemstones found around the Crystal Hollows, you need a pickaxe upgrade. The choices are limited despite your budget, since most are locked behind a Hotem level requirement. I'd recommend buying the Nimbus 2000 to be able to mine gemstones. Keep in mind this pickaxe only has 5,000 uses and then it will break, so use it wisely. Right now armor is not a worry, since you only need 1500 mining speed to instantly break hardstone, and the Nimbus gives this alone. So grind out commissions now until Hotem 7. Here's a list and how to do them. I know this grind is really painful, like to the point where you might think, is this even worth it? Yes, it's worth it. And you need it to make money from gemstones. You could get away with just grinding up to Hotem 6, but getting it out of the way early unlocks items that are useful for endgame. If you have any problems completing commissions, this is most likely combat related, so try and work on combat before grinding this. Okay, so now you should be Hotem 6 or 7. There's once again many ways this can go. If you have a lot of coins, you can just buy all the best items, but I'm assuming your profile is relatively new, so I'll start with the basics. Also, real quick, I recommend you have a good money making method first before going further with this grind, because the mining gear I'll recommend starts to cost a lot of money, and sadly you won't be making that money from mining until late to endgame. A money making method I recommend is either AH flipping or farming. Anyway, purchase a set of Yogg armor, or Sora armor depending on your budget. Remember to put gemstones in the slots of the armor. This slot is for amber, this slot is for jade, and this slot is universal, meaning it can hold any gem. Put topaz in here though. I'll talk more about Pristine later in this video. Visit Geo next to Gwendolyn to put the gems in the armor. Keep in mind that gemstone slots usually cost something to unlock, so be prepared to check that. You can find gemstones and their prices on the bazaar. Now it's time for a pickaxe upgrade. The gemstone gauntlet is the third best drill in the game. I recommend this drill for everyone at this level. What makes it so good is that it has a topaz slot, and the only other drill to have a topaz slot is the DRX 655 and Devan's drill, which is many times more expensive. Allow me to explain Pristine. The Pristine stat is the exact percent chance that you have to proc a gemstone. For example, 18 Pristine is an 18% chance per gemstone broken. This is the most important mining stat, since the procking of a gemstone is what makes the money when mining. The procs you see in chat accounts for about 90% of the money made while mining, so it's safe to say invest in perfect topaz gemstones first. On the gemstone gauntlet, you also want to make sure you buy the Pristine 5 enchant from the bazaar. If this is a bit too expensive, go for Pristine 4, but ideally you want to upgrade this as soon as possible. Also upgrade Fortune 3 to Fortune 4, and buy Compact to get some extra mining wisdom and percent chance to drop enchanted items while mining. For the reforge, go for Auspicious, which you can get from the rock gemstone found on the bazaar. Alongside getting better gear, you must also endure the most soul-crushing, mind-bending grind known to humanity, and that's powder mining. Nah, I'm just kidding. An update rolled which actually buffed powder mining significantly. I'm sorry to all my fallen brothers who experienced the old powder mining. Powder mining is important because you need powder to upgrade your Hotem stats, such as better fortune, better mining, more blocks broken per click, and so on. If you take a look through your Hotem tree, you can see different perks and what they do. The way you powder grind is by breaking hardstone anywhere in the Crystal Hollows. Regularly, a chest will spawn, and opening it has a chance to give you both types of powder. The way you open the chest is by looking at the particles, also known as locks, that appear on the chest. Once a lock is picked, it will make a ding sound. Some mods have a feature that highlights the lock, so it's very easy to see. Here's the perks you need to upgrade to maximize your powder mining efficiently. Mole is to break more hardstone per click. Great Explorer is to have a higher chance of a chest spawning and to reduce the amount of locks on the chests. And Powder Buff, just to straight up increase your powder gain. If you max Great Explorer, you won't have to pick any locks on a chest. It will just instantly open with a right click. You should aim for at least 5 million of each powder, but don't worry about grinding this all out at once like Hotem. This grind can be more casual, since the levels at the end require a ridiculous amount of powder to buy for small stat increases. Okay, so the next thing that you need to work on is your equipment. Up until this point, you've had no equipment to improve mining stats, so I'm going to tell you what to do for each piece. For the necklace, I suggest getting the Rift necklace from the Rift. If you really don't want to do this, you can just get any epic rarity necklace. For the cloak, purchase the Ancient Cloak. This one comes at a little price, but so does literally everything else, so all I can say is be prepared, I guess. For the belt, I recommend the Black Belt. The reason is because of its rarity. Since it's legendary, the reforge you will put on it will actually give you more fortune than an epic one, and this applies for the Rift necklace too. If you can't get the Black Belt, just go for any epic rarity necklace again. And finally, for the glove slot, purchase a Vanquish glowstone gauntlet. For the reforges, apply a shiny prism to each piece of equipment. If you have the money, you can also recom each piece to get a slight fortune increase, but this is very optional. By this point, you should check your mining stats and also do a money test. A very good way to make money from mining is by mining ruby in the magma fields. There's a route available in the description. All you need to do is copy and paste the massive jumble of letters and do what I do. This route is great for casual mining. I'm aware there are better routes out there and better ways to actually mine gemstones, but for a regular gamer I think this is good. Other routes are way harder to set up compared to the one I linked. Remember to buy a legendary bow as a pet. This is the best pet for mining in the magma fields due to its last perk. In fact, I probably should have mentioned this earlier. You should definitely buy a bow like as soon as possible because of its first perk. You're going to be in the magma fields a lot and you're going to need heat resistance, and this is what the bow is good for. If you don't fancy the spot I've linked or it's constantly in use, you can also mine the jade gemstones in the mines of Devan using either a bee pet or a scather pet. Now let's discuss nucleus running. This is a decent way to make money, but keep in mind it's sort of a gamble every time you do a run. It's not guaranteed profit. You get 4 Skyblock XP per run for the first 50 runs you do, and sometimes you'll see you need to collect the crystal as a commission. I'll quickly run through how to get every crystal. For the amber crystal, find the king in the goblin holdout. Give him 3 goblin eggs, then find the queen and collect the crystal. Make sure not to touch water with the king's stench perk. For the jade crystal, find the mines of Devan. Get a metal detector by talking to one of these guys and use it in the gold. Find all 4 scavenged tools, and once found, click on each NPC to unlock the crystal in the middle. Once you have a tool in your inventory, you cannot get it again until it's out of your inventory. For sapphire, buy all 6 robot parts listed on screen. Find the precursor city and talk to this guy. Give him all 6 parts and he'll unlock the crystal. For the jungle, purchase a jungle key from the bazaar. Find the jungle temple and give one of these guys the key. Complete the mildly annoying parkour and collect the crystal at the end. And finally, for topaz, find Bao or Khazad-dûm in the magma fields and kill him to obtain the crystal. If you're quick enough, you can click on the spot where the crystal is before he spawns to get it without having to kill him. Remember, all structures can be found using wishing compasses, and some mods such as Soupy, Skytills and NEU have features that make it very easy to find the structures. Once you complete a run, you must repeat all the steps again to do another one. Remember to prioritize the crystal depending on what commission you have, so if your commission says get a jade crystal, do that first. So now it's time to buy the armor of Devan. This set costs a lot of money. For a max set, it's around 4 to 500 million coins, but the good thing is you don't need it fully maxed for it to still be good. Each piece of Devan holds 5 gems, 2 fortune, 2 speed and 1 pristine, and to unlock each slot you need a gemstone chamber. Make sure to prioritize topaz and fortune, leaving amber at a lower level. The reforge you're going to want to go for is jaded, which comes from the jade emerald found at a mild price on the bazaar. This is the best armor reforge for mining. The best tree setup to have for gemstone mining is this, with most of your powder put into mining speed and fortune 1 and 2, leaving some for professional and fortunate. However, fortunate is really easy to max, so just do that first. You can also choose other perks alongside these if you have tokens left, but make sure to cover the ones I mentioned. You also need to upgrade your peak of the mountain, since you get some quite nice perks from it. The last 2 levels are not entirely needed, but it's up to you. There's also another way to make money in the crystal hollows, and that's by gold mining. Skip this part if you aren't interested in this, since it's very late game and costs a lot. In order to start gold mining, you need at least a DRX 655, 3/4 jaded mineral armor, and a max piece of Devan. You also need a blue cheese goblin omelette in order to get your mining speed boost perk from 4x multiplier to 5x. This is to reach a certain mining speed. The dwarven gold requires 36,000 mining speed to break instantly, so you're going to need at least 7.2k mining speed without the boost to do this. When mining the gold, make sure to be in the magma fields, as I'm pretty sure it's impossible to actually insta-mine gold outside the magma fields. Make sure to change your universal slot in your drill to a jade gemstone to maximize fortune. So this is pretty much it. This is the guide on how to begin mining and progress all the way to endgame in Hypixel Skyblock. If you found this guide useful, consider subscribing. These videos take quite a lot of effort to make, and I'm trying to make it to YouTube rank. Nah, I'm just kidding. But I hope you enjoyed.